Hello everybody and welcome to the Tartar Zone. I was going to do a video on this, but I said, you know what, I might as well do a live stream on it because, I want the live reaction from you guys. So here's the question I want to ask you guys in the chat, because apparently I'm a hateful bigot and I'm abusing the crew of Doctor Who and I shouldn't be allowed to do so. So to prove this fan that's been coming after me on Twitter that I'm not the only one that feels this way, I'm going to ask you guys a simple question in the chat. And I want a simple yes or no. Should Mandip Gill be part of the RTD era? That's the question. Should Mandip Gill be part of the RTD era? Now, why do I bring that up? Well, few weeks back when all this Doctor Who flux stuff was going on, there was an article by Radio Times talking to John Bishop, right? And they asked, would he return to Doctor Who, or was there a possibility that he could return to Doctor Who? And he says, you never know. A couple of days later, the first article about Mandip Gill staying beyond this current era started to surface. Now, yesterday, Radio Times tweeted out an article about Mandip Gill staying, and then instead of retweeting, they actually put up the same article again later on that night. Now, I didn't know because I didn't read it, because I have no interest, to be quite honest, because, new era begins, it should be a clean slate, anyway, especially because this era hasn't gone down too well, no matter what the other people actually say on Twitter. This era hasn't gone down well. Mandip Gill is not a very popular actress with Doctor Who fans, and her character Yasmin Khan is not popular with Doctor Who fans either. But apparently there was a poll, right? Now, for anybody thinking that I'm lying about the Radio Times article being dropped twice, I'm going to show you. Now, they didn't retweet this article. They actually put it back up again, right? So they're pushing this narrative very, and they've been doing it for a while. I think this is the fourth article now in relation to Mandip Gill. Looks like that person's finally blocked me. I'm feeling sad. Where is it? Because I did post it. I took screenshots this morning, right? And I'll show you the two dates. But I can tell you now, Radio Times are really trying so hard to get Mandip a job, right? The fact of the matter is, don't even bother. She won't get a job under the new current showrunner, because behind the scenes, all the staff are gone, yeah? And he'll be bringing in new people, just like he'll bring in a new companion and a new doctor, right? Now, where is this? Hold on, bear with me for a second, because I did tweet these this morning. Sorry, I've just spent a half an hour arguing with an idiot. As you always do. Also, I have a poll result to show you guys as well, because they tried to rig a poll that I put up, and of course they lost, as they usually do. Right, so here it is. I have it here. So we'll just go into that tweet itself, and then we'll share it. Because, I'll be accused of lying. Oh, no, from the Tartar Zone is lying. He's lying. The article, no. He's trying to make up stuff to bring hatred to the fandom. Right, so a few weeks back, we had an article with Bishop saying he could return. The Mandip Gill article, similar thing too. Today, the Radio Times posted this article and now have tweeted it out again. Not a retweet, but a tweet. They are really pushing this Mandip narrative. Nobody wants this. Now, let's show you the photographs, because this is the important thing. So I hope everybody could see that. Right, so the date here, right, is the 6th of December, 21. And the article was first published at 1:45 p.m. Right? Now, here's the same article tweeted out, not retweeted, but tweeted out at 10:30 on the 6th of December 21, right? So there you go, right? And they've been doing this. Now, apparently there was a poll, right? Apparently there was a poll on that Radio Times article. And apparently she won by 1%, right? And someone has came to me, well, that proves that Doctor Who fans want Mandip to be part of the RTD era. Listen, a poll rigged by a load of J-bots, Radio Times, we don't take seriously, because if you're to look at Radio Times polls, right, over these last 5 years since this era begun, the poll results, let's just say, have been skewed by these fans of this era that cannot accept the fact that this era and the Doctor and the companions are not universally loved. That's the bottom line, right? And they rigged these polls to make it out that she's better and this era is better than what it is. The bottom line is this, right? Mandip Gill will not be part of the RTD era, no matter how hard the Radio Times shill for her. And I don't know what Radio Times actually, I don't know why Radio Times are very invested in this, by the way. Right? I'm not sure if it matters if she stays or goes. Well, Sadako, you might feel like that. And I'm not going to have a go at anybody here, but you might feel like that. But a lot of other fans don't. A lot of fans will watch the RTD era, right? Look, a lot of fans said that they wouldn't watch series 11, 12, and 13, and they did, right? Okay, and I'm talking about fans on their side. So it'll be the same. Fans will watch the RTD era. You mightn't, right? And there might be a lot of people like you that mightn't watch it, right? But there will be a lot of fans that will watch, and they will move on, and they will watch the RTD era. So this is why I'm discussing this, because it is relevant, because a lot of fans will watch, right? There might be people like yourself that won't watch, and that's fair enough. You're entitled to do that, and in some ways I don't blame you, right? But at the end of the day, it is relevant, and this is why we're having this conversation, because for the RTD era to be a success, you must have a clean slate. You cannot have any of the people that were connected to this era moving over onto the next one, right? It's just too sullied and too stained for RTD to do that. Now, knowing RTD anyway, he won't bring her in. He won't bring her in. He has his own companion in mind, and he'll have his own Doctor in mind. But the reason why I'm doing this live stream is because I want to ask the Radio Times, what the hell are you at? Why are you shilling this woman so hard? Right? She's not a great actress. That's the bottom line, right? And she certainly wasn't a great character on the show in Yasmin Khan. Her character development was some of the poorest development of a character that I've ever seen, right? And any development that he did do seemed to be shoehorned in and didn't actually make sense to what he was trying to do with that character. Still, after 3 seasons, right, we are supposed to be convinced that Yasmin Khan was a copper, ex-copper, whatever, and was bullied and abused growing up, right? Have we seen any of that in the show on a consistent basis? No. It's seen here and there, and he thinks that's great character development, right? But as I asked you all in the chat, right, just to prove that I'm not the only one that feels like this, a Radio Times poll skewed by the J-bots isn't a true reflection on this fandom. Remember, the Doctor Who fandom isn't on Twitter, right? But in saying that, I did put up my own poll. And you know what I might do as well? I might actually put up the exact same poll as Radio Times did and get people to vote on it. And I guarantee you there'll be a different result on Twitter. It's just these J-bots got their hands onto it, and they're trying to prove that she's popular. Yasmin Khan is not a popular character within Doctor Who. She's one of the most hated characters in Doctor Who, and that's a fact. So, I put up my own poll. And let's just say there was a couple of people that didn't like me poll. and they try to rig it, right? But here's the result, right, for everybody to see, right? This is why I'm saying you can't be listening to Radio Times and fans out there, right, that support and shill this era, right? It's not a true reflection on the fandom. So 2,411 people voted, the most votes that I've had for a poll. The last one that I got that had over 1,000 was William Hartnell, the Fourth Doctor is the timeless child before William Hartnell, and of course they tried to rig that as well, but William Hartnell won out. Now, they tried to do the same with this, and I'll show you the person because I don't actually give a fuck because I'm sticking it to them today. So Chris Chibnall is the worst. Now, I was supposed to say worst thing, but obviously people picked up on me spelling mistake there, right? Because when the polls start going the other way, they start throwing their toys out of the pram. So 61.8% of this fandom say that Chris Chibnall is the worst thing to happen Doctor Who. 38.2% of people said no. But those 38.2% of people were people that were deliberately trying to rig the poll because, you know, they're pathetic little losers. And I'll show you now these pathetic little losers, right? Where is it? Just bear with me. You can see my Twitter account there now in all its glory. So just bear with me for a second. It's down here somewhere. Oh, and by the way, if you're still comparing Peter Capaldi, the RTD and the Moffat eras, the Chris Chibnalls, and saying it's not as actually bad, you just can't do that because the Chris Chibnall era was on a Sunday night. The RTD and Moffat era were actually on Saturday night where they actually had competition. So again, you have, so there you go. So the results are in. Over 2,411 people voted. So many tried to rig this poll, including Jen here. Unfortunately for you, the fandom's voices have been heard. Chris Chibnall is the worst thing to happen Doctor Who. You tried to get people to vote no out of spite and you failed. Fans win. Right? And I will show you now. I actually thought I did. Who cares anyway? Anyway, the point is that no matter what these fans say, right, on Twitter, right, the reality of the situation is this, right? This era of Doctor Who is not popular, right? This era of Doctor Who had the worst Doctor and the worst companions in the history of the show. The ratings reflect that. Now, I still have people telling me, oh, but there was a ratings decline under RTD and Stephen Moffat, especially the Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi era. Again, I will say, look at the decline, right? And here's the thing, right? I can explain the Peter Capaldi decline. It's actually quite simple. Peter Capaldi's Doctor on a Saturday night was never given a specific time slot. He was moved around quite a lot, right? And on top of that, Stephen Moffat's writing wasn't the best. We will admit that. But the reason why there wasn't such a steep decline in the ratings was because we had an actor of the caliber of Peter Capaldi that was able to turn some of the worst scripts into something that we could watch, right? And that's the difference, okay? Now, Chris Chibnall's era is on a Sunday, right? And people keep, like, you know, kind of skipping over that. But why was it put on a Sunday, right? Why was there no Christmas special? I'll tell you why there was no Christmas special. Chris Chibnall was to start his era on a Christmas special, but he refused to do so. So Peter Capaldi and Stephen Moffat came back to do Twice Upon a Time, right? That was the final Christmas special that we got because Chris Chibnall refused to do it, right? So he lost the Christmas slot, right? So that's his fault, right? Another thing, right? It was put on Sunday night with no competition, right? Okay, and it's still struggling in the ratings. Now, I made this point on Twitter tonight. You put this complete era on a Saturday night at 6:25, right? Bang on 6:25 on a Saturday night, BBC One prime time, right? And all the competition and the shows that it has, I can guarantee you that the ratings would even be worse than what they are now. The only reason why they haven't fell off a cliff is because it is on a Sunday. It is on a Sunday. That's the only saving grace for this era, is the fact that it is on a Sunday. This is why we didn't get Christmas specials and we get New Year's Day specials, right? Because Chibnall, the incompetent little twat, lost the Christmas slot. That was down to him. Well, let's have a look at this Radio Times poll, actually. I actually want to look at this. Mandip Gill, Radio Times. So there's one article. Right. See, Radio Times says, Doctor Who, Mandip Gill could travel on with the new Doctor. They don't need a whole new cast every time. Yes, they do. Yes, they do, especially for this era. I don't know. So this is Lauren Morris. She's a journalist for the Radio Times. Of course, it's a woman. Why wouldn't she be, why wouldn't she be flogging Mandip? Like, Mandip is like one of the worst characters, and they still don't get it, like, So apparently she's loved every minute of it. Don't care. That doesn't mean that, like, you're great. But I don't see this poll on this article. So where is this poll? Right, so that was the article a day ago, right? But I'm pretty sure so here's some of the headlines, right, from these newspapers. Doctor Who Mandip Gill says Yaz could travel on with the new Doctor. Doctor Who Flux suggests Yaz and the Doctor are in love. Doctor Who fans convinced the Doctor and Yaz are in love. There's no actual evidence to back that up. Doctor Who Mandip Gill on growing tensions between Yaz and the Doctor. Doctor Who Series 13 overall review. Was Flux a hit or a miss? It was a miss. But you see the type of articles that they're doing there, right? There is no evidence. Maybe on Mandip's side of it, there's a little bit of tension there. And maybe on her side, there is a little bit of she fancies the Doctor. But it's certainly not, it's certainly not shown by the Doctor on her side, right? She's definitely not in love with Yaz. So, again, but these are the type of articles. See, they're not talking about the show, right? They're not talking about the plots. They're not talking about the story or the character development, right? What they're talking about is, the Doctor and Yaz are in love and stuff like that. They're not actually doing their jobs as journalists, right? What they're doing is they're putting out fluff articles, ridiculous articles to distract the fans from the fact that this era has been absolutely dire, right? And YouTubers like myself, and I don't care, you can call me toxic all you want and a bully and an abuser of this production team. I don't care anyway. I'm not abusing them and I'm not bullying them. I'm telling it how it is. And the fact of the matter is that this show, right, since Jodie Whittaker took over as the Doctor, and since Chris Chibnall took over as showrunner, this show's ratings have been in deep decline. Now, we had Mr. TARDIS only a couple of, I think it was a couple of days ago or last week, again spinning the ratings. But this time, he used shows that were streamed on Disney Plus that were getting 1 million and 2 million viewers. And then he tried to say, well, this proves that TV habits are changed, right? But what he doesn't know is they're on streaming services. Doctor Who isn't. Second of all, right, they're on Disney Plus. Right, it's a streaming service. Doctor Who was on television. You can't compare the two. You can't actually compare the two. And by the way, if you want to do a comparison, right? And I always bring these shows up as a comparison. You've got shows like Peaky Blinders, Vigil, right? Killing Eve, Line of Duty, right? Luther, right? 5 shows alone, right? That get over 10 million viewers in overnights, right? Now, why do they get 10 million viewers in overnights? Simple. Because they're well-written shows, the characters are well developed, right? And they give you stories that keep you on the edge of your seat, right? So while TV habits have changed, nobody will deny that, right? The rating system that's in place now takes that into account. You look at the consolidated figures, the 28-day, the AI, right? It's all down, right? So don't be telling me, right, that Doctor Who is fine. It's not fine, right? If Doctor Who had a decent showrunner and actually produced decent stories with great character development and stories that kept us on the edge of our seat, there is no reason why Doctor Who today could get over 10 million overnights. There's no excuse whatsoever, right? The worst thing they did was give Chris Chibnall the job. To be quite honest with you, there was nobody really to take over after Moffat, so he was the one that was available and they went with him, right? They shouldn't have. What they should have done was put the show on hiatus until someone came along that actually knew what they were doing, right? Chris Chibnall has actually proved he doesn't know what he's doing, because even after the end of this series, right, we're still nowhere near closer to what the hell's going on, right? Plot holes galore. We don't know what's going on. Is the Timeless Children thing sorted? No. Is what happened to the universe? Is Earth and a couple of other planets the only thing that's left in the universe now? Like, or was it rebooted? Do we know? No, we don't know. Because he doesn't know how to explain things. Right? So again, you know, and you know what? Yeah, Radio Times, right? You need to get with the program, right? For the last 5 years, Chris Chibnall has treated you like crap, right? You don't get the exclusives anymore. You don't get interviews anymore. You don't get this, that, and the other while he was in charge. And yet there you are shilling for him and shilling for his companions and trying to get him a job in the new era. Are you for fucking real? Seriously. The guy is treated just like shy, but yet you are going to shill for a companion of his era. She's not even a good companion. What did she do this series? Right? He gave her a little bit more to do, but what did she actually do? She did nothing. And we're meant to believe that she has this romantic connection to the Doctor because she looks at her a certain way. And then what's even more sick is all these little J-bots. When Jodie Whittaker's Doctor said she had a crush on herself, right? And you should have seen the comments. They're absolutely vile. Vile and disgusting anyway, right? So I'll ask the question again to everybody in the chat, right? So the haters out there, because I've got 42 people watching, and I know that the person that was probably arguing with me on Twitter is listening now. So to prove to this person, right, that I'm not the only one that thinks this way, right, I'm going to ask you the question. Should Mandip Gill's character Yasmin Khan be part of the RTD era? Answer yes or no, please. Answer yes or no. Right? I'm not going to tell you how to answer because I don't do that. It was like with the poll as well. I didn't force it. I wasn't going around telling people to vote a certain way on Twitter or anything like that. I just got them to vote. I said, please vote if you haven't voted already, and the result came in. So there you go. We got no. We got another 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 no. How many fucking no's do you need? There's another no, right? Bottom line is this, right? Mandip Gill, right, as far as I'm concerned, is a piss poor actress, and her character in Yasmin Khan is one of the worst companions ever to grace the screens on Doctor Who. Now, we have had bad companions in the past, especially Classic Who. Nobody will deny that. But she's up there. She is up there with those worst companions. If not, she probably is the worst. For the simple fact is that she hasn't been developed properly. It's Elise Adric and other characters like that during the classic era still had character development. Exactly on comics. Even Mel was better because at least she had character development. By the way, someone says go back to Hollyoaks. She ain't going back to Hollyoaks. She's ruined her career. That's why I think they're trying to get her a job. I don't think she can get a job. And that's the reality. I actually don't think she can get a job. And this is why the Radio Times are doing her a solid. And this is why Radio Times keep coming up every few weeks with an article. Oh yeah, Mandip Gill should be part of the new era. She shouldn't. And she won't be, by the way. She won't be. I can tell you that categorically, right? She will not be. Because RTD already has gone into, what's it, is it post-production, pre-production, post-production? I always get confused about the two, right? But he's already gone into production, right? I can guarantee you that he has his idea of his doctor and he has his idea for his companion. And I can tell you now, if you look at Rose, if you look at Martha Jones, if you look at the Dr. Donna Noble, right? Is Mandip Gill, Yasmin Khan, would she be the type of companion that RTD would have in his era? The simple answer is no. Because look at her, right? She's nothing like any of these other companions, right? All of these women were strong women, right? Mandip is not a strong character. Yasmin Khan's not a strong woman. She comes across as a mounhole and, oh, look at me, I was bullied. Oh, let's do a scene. This is Chibnall. Let's do a scene to show that Yaz was bullied as grown up. 30-second scene. There you go, she's bullied. Some of the worst character development I've ever seen. And by the way, you look at Doctor Who Flux. Look at Jacob Anderson, Vinder, right? Character that nobody was really like hyped about because they made a big deal about it. But when we saw him on screen, he had something about him. We thought, yeah, this could go somewhere. But look at his character development in the end. It was absolutely non-existent. Look at Belle's character development. Absolutely non-existent. We got John Bishop. We got Dan, right? He got character development in the very first episode and then he stood still for the rest of it. He actually went backwards. John Bishop's acting was terrible in the middle of the series. So I do reckon, though, that was his first scene that he filmed anyway, because the acting was terrible. But all of the characters have gone backwards. Look at Jodie Whittaker's Doctor. In 3 series, she hasn't changed one bit. There's been no character development. Our character hasn't moved on, hasn't grown, hasn't matured. Still the same god-awful Doctor that we got in episode 1. The woman who fell to earth. So, I think Radio Times are trying their hardest to get Mandip a job with RTD. Now, if it happens, I'm just saying, if it does happen, I'm out. I'm out straight away, right? Because there's no way you can justify to me as a fan that she deserves another chance to move forward. Now, don't get me wrong, RTD could probably do her character justice. The problem I have is she's part of an era that isn't liked, right? And for me personally, and a lot of Doctor Who fans out there, we don't want any connection from the Chris Chibnall era to the RTD era. It must be a clean slate. It must be a clean slate because, you know, there are fans out there already. Fans out there already have made it clear that certain things have to happen before they'll even consider watching his era. Now, if you were to bring her through, then you're going to lose. You're going to lose fans. I'm sorry, that's the reality of the situation. You can call it whatever you want. That's the reality of the situation, right? You bring her forward into the next era, right? It's not going to work. Fans are going to walk away. They don't want any connection to the Chibnall era. They want a clean slate. So, hold on, bear with me for a second because I'm actually in the middle of cooking too. Just bear with me. We've got a storm over here, so I'm making myself a lovely cuddle, just so I can warm myself up and get a bit of energy into me as well. But look, bottom line is that this cannot happen. And a Radio Times poll, and again, I haven't found the poll. I can't find the poll, but I don't really care. So 1%, she won by 1% apparently. Right? Actually, you know what? I think Cheryl might have sent it to me. I'll check me messenger because Cheryl always sends me this stuff. So bear with me and I'll get it. I'll try get this poll and throw it up. But I'm sick of this. Look, I've had time to think about this era, and we will be doing a couple of streams this week. We will have the Tarda Zone talks, and we're going to have a load of guests on. Because obviously it's the end of the series. We've decided that, you know, we're gonna bring loads of people on to discuss overall what they thought of the whole Doctor Who flux. We'll have Melina, Ballstreck, and others joining us. And remember, if you haven't been on any of the polls, any of the panels, obviously this is your chance, guys, to come on and discuss it and give your thoughts on it. Obviously, then we will be back when the New Year special drops. So I think this is the Radio Times article now. I'll just take a quick look. Doctor Who fans say Yaz and Dan should stay. So there's another article, right? Doctor Who fans say Yaz and Dan should stay after Jodie Whittaker exits. Our recent poll revealed that a very narrow majority are in favour of companions remaining in the TARDIS, right? And this poll was put up by Patrick Cremona, which I've never heard of before. He must be a new journalist and you know has. So out of a total of 14,424 votes, right? Cast 569 reckon both of the companions should continue on the show. 35 more people than the 5,034 who thought they should both call time on their respect. So literally 35 more votes. She won by 35 votes. They won by 35 votes. Here, it's there in black and white. I'll put it up and show you. This is how hilarious this is. She won by 35 votes. Oh my God. It's not even a landslide. It just goes to show you that the J-Bot's power is actually waning in the fandom if they can't rig a poll properly. Like they tried to rig mine. Again, this is what I've said. They're a spent force. They tried to rig my poll as well, right? They can't. They've lost all their power in the fandom. So there you go. Right? 35 votes the difference. Where's the poll though? What? Show me the bleeding poll. I actually want to see the poll. Won't show me the poll. But there you go. Right? So 35 votes, the difference. But again, Radio Times with another article. Look, they are really pushing this whole Mandip Gill, aren't they? And now John Bishop. In fairness, look, I would plead with RTD. I would plead with... No, I sent you a screenshot. No problem. No problem. I'll look now. Sorry, man. I was screen sharing there. I didn't see that, Lee. I will go in now and have a look, pal. Don't worry about it. I'll do that now. But I would plead with RTD. The worst thing you can actually do is bring these two people forward. Look, I like Dan. I like him as a character. Don't get me wrong. I do think that his character could have been developed a lot better, right? But I like Dan. I did like him. I connected with him, and I connected with Jericho as well, right? And we all seen what happened to Jericho. No need for Jericho to die, but you know, a white old male has to die in the Chris Chibnall era, and it just happened to be Jericho. There was no need for his sacrifice, but there you go. So Lee has sent me this, has sent me a screenshot apparently. So I'll go into the messages. There we go. Right. Let's see this feckin' poll. There you go. Right. Let's break this down in reality. Right. I did like Dan, I'm not going to lie, but his character development was still very poor. But out of all of them, you know, Swarm and Azor started off well. By the end of the series, but obviously by the end, they were okay, but then they were killed off, as you know. So again, you know, even good characters that he has, he kills them off because he's an idiot. Right. So there you go. Should Doctor Who's Mandip Gill and John Bishop stay on after Jodie leaves? So, well, according to this poll, it looks like it's level. So 35% there and 35% there. Yes, they should both stay. No, neither should stay. 35. So there was 5 votes in that. But see, this is where they kind of shot themselves in the foot. So if you actually break it down, only 9% of the fandom says that Yaz should stay. But Dan, 21% say he should stay. So even at that, it's very startling that they've all went for the white male. Right? So in reality, they don't really want Mandip Gill to return. Right? They'd rather see John Bishop return. Now, there's 5 votes in that. Right? No, they shouldn't. So 5 votes. So I would take look, at the end of the day, 5 votes there is nothing. Right? So in reality, you know, nobody wants her back. Nobody wants her back. Because think about it. Dan is after getting more of the vote than Yas, right? Now the Yas should both of them return, right? Now people probably voted that way, and you know, you've seen it yourself. There's 5 votes in it. What can I say? Neither of them should stay, but if I had to pick one, it would be Dan. Well, the polls suggest that as well, mate. The polls suggest that as well. It's an absolute joke. It'll be the biggest mistake. It'll be the biggest mistake that RTD makes if he does. I will say that. But I don't think he will. And now that he's gone into production, it's only a matter of time now before we start hearing stuff. For me, actually, I think the best thing to happen would be for RTD to announce the companion. Get that done and over with, and then that will end all talks of Dan and Yaz returning. Just announce the companion. You don't necessarily have to announce the Doctor, but announce the companion and put this to bed once and for all, right? But I have to say, Radio Times, I don't know what they're playing at, but for the last few weeks, ever since this Doctor Who flux came on the TV, they've been shilling for Mandip Gill very hard, and I don't know why, because she's one of the worst companions to ever grace the screen, the Doctor Who. But yeah, apparently they love her. It's absolutely ridiculous. It is. Is it official that RTD has started work on Series 14? Yeah, he threw up a tweet himself. Some fan was joking with him, and he replied, and he's on Twitter, and he replied something around yeah, well, that'll be me tomorrow. So they were talking about Doctor Who, and talking. They were saying something, but he's actually come out and confirmed it himself. So it's official, yes. And it would make sense, by the way, to be in what's it, pre-production? Is it pre-production? It would make sense anyway. So casting won't happen until next year. Well, if he's in pre-production, I honestly do believe that he's already got a companion and doctor in mind. You wouldn't go into pre-production without having an idea who you're going to cast. So I honestly believe that he has an idea who he wants. Noel, when do you think we'll get some updates on the RTD era? Well, there are rumours that we could have something in the next couple of weeks. Now, as I've always said on this channel from day one, when he was announced originally, I said there wouldn't be any announcements until next year, right? Which is only a few weeks away. So it makes sense. So I'm going to say it. It'll be next year. It'll be January, February, maybe, where we might start getting some stuff. Pre-production may actually mean auditioning the cast as Robert Payne. Exactly. So that's what I think is happening right now. Look, it'll be a big mistake on RTD's part if he allows Mandip Gill to come over to his era. She's not a likable character in Yasmin Khan. Nobody likes her. And he has to be looking at all of this. Look, the reason why RTD is back in the first place is because this era has been dire, right? They need the show to boost its ratings. And if anybody can do it, right, it's RTD. He did it when he rebooted the show back in 2005, and its ratings were actually decent, right? This is why RTD is coming back. They want the ratings to be better than what they actually are. And again, all of these fans that support this area, you can ignore that fact all you want. That's the only reason why he is back, is because they need to boost the ratings and they know how good of a writer he actually is, right? It's the only reason why he's returning, because he did say that he would never return to Doctor Who unless the show needed him, right? So he's back. So that would suggest that the show needs him. And it's true. The show does need him, because if you look at the ratings in Series 11, the decline is steeper than Capaldi and Matt Smith. And that's the point I've been trying to make to these fans, but they keep coming. But the Matt Smith era and the Peter Capaldi era, their ratings were going down. Yeah, they were. They were fluctuating quite a lot, actually. But was the decline as steep as it is under the Chris Chibnall era? No, absolutely not. And again, you cannot compare the RTD era, the Stephen Moffat era, with the Chris Chibnall era, because one was on a Saturday night, two eras were on a Saturday night, he was on a Sunday night, cozy time slot as well. Hardly any competition on a Sunday night. Saturday night is where all the competition is. And then someone tried to say, well, Sunday night is drama night, so it suits Doctor Who. No. Doctor Who, since New Who's return, has been Saturday night prime time. That's where Doctor Who belongs, right? And if you think it belongs on a Sunday, then you're a twat, right? It belongs on a Saturday night, right? That's where it should be, right? Doctor Who used to do well in the ratings. It used to be in the top 5, the top 3, even number 1 some weeks, right? There is no excuse, right? All the excuses keep getting made for Chris Chibnall, right? He's had a handy, right? He hasn't got Christmas specials anymore because Christmas is a busy day on BBC and all the others. And this is why I will say, right, again, right, New Year's Day, they show a lot of movies, right? And then you have the odd TV show, but it's mostly movies, right? So you put Doctor Who on New Year's Day, it's not really going to be affected because people have watched the movies that they already show over the Christmas, you know, because they've been in the cinema and then they show them Christmas, they get the exclusive, you know what I mean, and all of that, right? So, again, as I said, you know, this era has had a helping hand, right? It's been put in a cushy time slot. Christmas Day is being taken away. It's now New Year's Day because, again, as I said, New Year's Day is not really competitive. If you were to put Doctor Who on Christmas Day, his specials on Christmas Day, they would tank even further. And that's the reality of the situation. I do believe if the Chris Chibnall era was re-shown on a Saturday night, or was originally put on the Saturday night the way it should have been in the first place, the ratings would even be worse than what they are now. Right? So the saving grace for this show in some aspects has been the fact that it's on Sunday night and we have a New Year's Day special, but it still cannot hide the fact that this show is a complete and utter joke to fans and the ratings. So, look, you know, as I said, you know, you have a lot of spin by these people. And then when you start hitting them with facts and truth bombs, what do they do? What do? They go and start insulting, saying I'm bullying people and all of this sort of rubbish. Right? Not bullying anybody. I'm speaking facts. And I'm sorry that you don't like facts. But the fact of the matter is that this era, Doctor Who has been an utter and complete mess. And it has been a failure. It has been a failure. And as I've already proven, no fan out there wants Mandip to return for RTD's era. We need a clean slate, right? We need to get the stink of this era away from RTD's era. And that includes any actor or actress that was connected to this era must never return to the show. And that includes John Bishop, who I do like. Right? I don't think he should be part of Series 14. You know? We should just move on now. And anyway, you know, I think Radio Times have missed out on a big thing. Right? Because Piers Wenger already came out and said that Chris Chibnall, that RTD had his own vision and he was going to introduce this show to the next generation of fans, right? That this show was going to be dragged into basically it was going to be dragged into modern day. Basically, you know, make a show that appeals to everyone and not just the minority like it has been under Chris Chibnall. Look, when RTD returns, we will get Christmas specials again. I honestly believe that. And I honestly do believe that it'll go back to Saturday nights as well. And you know what? Here will be the thing, right? I know for a fact that he's already going to get a boost. His ratings are already, like his era hasn't even aired now, right? But I can guarantee you that his ratings, right, for his first series, even the 60th anniversary, will do better than what we've gotten for the last 5 years. It'll be the biggest ratings boost that you'll ever see. And I know that for a fact. And why do I know that? Because RTD can develop characters. RTD can give you interesting stories, right? And he can also do little subplots well, right? His characters are well developed. His stories are well fleshed out, right? There's no confusion, right? Like there is under the current era, right? We're still scratching our heads. Like the flux thing, right? Like the whole matter, antimatter thing. It's being pointed out, makes no sense, right? So the flux was absorbed by a passenger, right? So what happened to the universe? Earth is left and what? Atropos and a couple of others. So the whole universe is being destroyed. He hasn't rebuilt the universe like it was done in the past. So the universe, Earth, is the only planet that's left, basically, and the rest is all planets destroyed and all of that, and there's bits of rock everywhere. Right? And it made no sense anyway. Look at the planet that Vinder went on. Should that not be destroyed by the flux? None of this made sense. Right? None of this made sense. And that goddamn fob watch, right? Goddamn fob watch can sort everything fucking out. And what does he do? Dangle it in front of us all, right? And gets Jodie's doctor to throw it down in the heart of the TARDIS. Oh, don't let me see it unless I really need it. Which means he's going to drag this out. And I honestly do believe that he copped out, that he's a chicken shit. He tried to do this origin story, and I think he's backing out. Because he has no conviction, because he's a yellow belly, he doesn't know what he's doing. And by the way, for any fan out there that says I'm being abusive and hateful, I'm entitled to these opinions, right? These opinions that I have are shared by most of the fucking fandom anyway, right? Because as I said, the fandom isn't on Twitter, right? You look at the general public, they tuned out. You look at fans, tuned out, right? Lowest rated series finale, I think. I'm not 100%, but as a series finale, I think it was the lowest rated series finale of all time. The lowest rated series finale. That was a series finale, by the way, we got Sunday. Did it feel like a series finale? No. Did it have the stakes that the series finale has? No. Was it a good series finale? No. No. It was a mess. Still no explanations. Plot holes galore. But yeah, there are some fans that will defend this. That's fair enough. Defend it all you want. You know what? At this stage, I don't really care. But you are wrong. You are wrong. This is one of the worst areas of Doctor Who, and we had this during the late 80s. This is history repeating itself, but I would say that this is worse. This is worse. Marty, do you know what? I give a fuck if it's Omega or if it's the Master coming back. Do you give a fuck? Honestly, do you actually care what happens in the next 3 specials now? Right? Because I don't. I'll watch them, but I don't. I don't care anymore. Right? Because he can't. Because you know what? This is what I'll say. You know, if Chris Chibnall was going to stick with the timeless children stuff, right? Then he should have had the conviction to do so. And that's why I have no respect for him. Because he didn't. That episode, that series finale shows that he didn't have the guts or the balls to reinforce what he's been trying to do. He's left her hanging, right? Because Tectoyum could be still lying to the Doctor. The Master was probably lying to the Master because it hasn't been shown concretely that she is the timeless child. So he's chickened out. He's chickened out on something that he created himself. That fob watch could have either reinforced what he said or could have changed what he said, and that Master and Tectoyum were lying. But he didn't. He dangled the fob watch in front of your face, right? Got the Doctor to pick up some ball off the TARDIS console. She says this line, I don't want to ever see this again, but only if I want to, or something to that effect, and she drops it, right? That fob watch is coming back. I do believe he hasn't stuck to what he wanted to do, and he doesn't have the balls to actually do it. Either that or BBC, like I said, have reined him in, and this is his way. And you know what? I will say this. Do you know why he's probably leaving her hanging right now? He's probably going to tie this up in the very last episode, the centenary. And I'll tell you why. Because he knows the other side are toxic, right? The J-bots. So if he drags this out right until the end and then drops it that the Doctor isn't a timeless child and all of that, well, then what can they do? They can't do fuck all because he's gone. New era begins. So that's why I reckon he's dragging this out now and he'll explain it in the very last episode and then he'll leave. And I think he will reverse this timeless child nonsense. I really do. I don't think he has the balls to go through with it. I really don't. And I do believe that Tecto Yoon, because even look at her face when she's saying the line. She's lying. Just like the Master is lying. But it wasn't his only idea. The timeless child wasn't even a thing during Series 11. Look at Series 11. Where was the references to the timeless child? All of this nonsense came about in Series 12 because he tried to do something different during Series 11 and it was rejected by the fans. Right? So then he tried to give us something more similar, something that we know Doctor Who to be during Series 12. Remember, this is a man that said he hated the Daleks, the Cybermen, the Weeping Angels, and look what he's done over these last 5 years. He's brought them all back. In his very first interview, he said he didn't like the Weeping Angels. He said he didn't like the Daleks. He didn't like the Cybermen because they've been done too much. But yeah, he's brought them all back for his era. This timeless child nonsense, right? I'm telling you, it was only conceived during Series 12. It wasn't conceived during Series 11. It was mentioned in the Ghost Monument. Yeah, but it was only... it was mentioned. But did he actually do anything to show us? No, it was just mentioned. See, this is Chris Chibnall classic 101 story development. He'll just drop a line. Or he'll get one of these characters to look at the audience and say, right, this is what's happening, guys, because, you know, you're all stupid. So I'll just explain what's going on in the plot, just in case you don't know, because my writing is so bad that I have to get me characters to explain what's going on. Like, fans need to stop kidding themselves, right? All I want, right? This is all I've ever wanted, right? And everybody in the chat will agree with me here. All I've ever wanted from Chris Chibnall was to write Doctor Who the way it should be written and to give us something that we could get behind and something that we could actually be proud of. He's done absolutely the opposite. Fans are ashamed of this era, right? There are fans out there that won't even tell people that they're Doctor Who fans. So we've gone back to a time where it was embarrassing to talk about Doctor Who. That's what he has done. He's made it an embarrassment, right? I was gaming a couple of weeks back, right? And me tag on me PlayStation is the Doctor, THC the Doctor, right? And I literally had people slagging me off. Oh, you're a fan? Are you a fan of Doctor Who? Yeah, I'm a fan of Doctor Who. Ah, you're a fan. How can you watch that shite? Right? That's what I'm getting. That's what it's like to be a Doctor Who fan now. Right? It's becoming an embarrassing thing. You don't want to talk about it anymore. And that's what he's done. And Chris Chibnall gets the blame for that. Not Jodie Whittaker. Chris Chibnall gets the blame for that. Because he's the main man. He's the writer. So there's even rumours. We had Gorminator on. I don't think Jodie Whittaker's Doctor is going to regenerate, by the way. Or if she does regenerate, she's not going to regenerate into the 14th Doctor. That's all I'm going to say on that. But a certain popular Doctor of the new Who era has been rumoured to be leading the 60th. And you all know who that is. It's been spoke about. We had Gorminator on, and we've had other people on. We do source and information. You know that. This era is a complete mess. And you know what? If that does happen, right, and they bring back a certain popular doctor that was popular, right, I'd love to see how they're going to spin that, the other side. How will you spin that? You won't be able to. The bottom line is, as I've said, this era is a complete failure from top to bottom. And Chris Chibnall should be ashamed of himself. And so should Jodie Whittaker, by the way. She's not getting away with this lightly, right? Yes, the writing that she has received is piss poor, right? But this is a woman that originally didn't do the research into the role and then did it after the fact. And then decided to cosplay David Tennant and Matt Smith. Jodie Whittaker, in the 3 series that she's had in the specials, has not convinced me that she's the Doctor still after this time. Now, if she hasn't been able to convince me and a lot of other fans out there after 3 series that she's the Doctor, well, then you have to be doing something wrong. And he did. He did a lot wrong. And by the way, she did say that, right, I put this tweet up and I got a lot of stick for it, but it's true. So, do you remember an article that was put out a few months back where Jodie Whittaker thought she thought she was doing it wrong? And then lately she's done an interview where she spoke about she hoped that she didn't ruin it for another woman to take, or she thought she had ruined it for another woman to take over as the Doctor. Well, you're absolutely right. You have. You did get it wrong, by the way. You didn't understand the role, so you did get it wrong. And you have ruined it for another woman. You actually have, and your boss has. There is no way that BBC should go with another woman now. You will be shooting yourself in the foot if you do. It must look it, right? This is the way it should actually go. They should cast a man again because it will be new and fresh because of the 5-year mess that we've gotten right now. You bring back a male Doctor, maybe a younger Doctor, like a bit like Matt Smith, then you have a chance of saving this show. But you cannot get RTD must not cast another woman. Now, even though I do think he could do a woman Doctor justice, I think because of the way this era has been received, how toxic the fandom has been, how bad it's been received, I don't think that would be a great idea on RTD's part. He must start with a clean slate. Bring in a younger Doctor, an older Doctor, or bring in, as I said, Gorminator and others out there, including myself, have said that they want a big name. Remember, Sony has also taken over Bad Wolf Productions, or has a stake in Bad Wolf Productions. So there is a shit ton of money to be spent. So anybody saying that they can't get a big actor for the role, because this is what I was getting all last year, or they won't cast a Michael Sheen, he's too big, he'd be too expensive. Well, BBC actually, Bad Wolf Productions, BBC Studios and Sony now have a shit ton of money. So they could actually hire Hugh Grant. They could get a Tom Hardy. They could go for a Hollywood star because they've got the money now, right? They've got the money now. So all it is that they can't afford certain actors has gone out the window now. They can literally go for any actor they want, obviously if they wanted the job. But if they had an actor in mind, money is no object to them. They'll be able to get in that person if the person agrees to play the Doctor. And there you go. Michael Sheen has just said he's not a for-profit actor. So actually, yeah, they could get Michael Sheen now. They could still get Michael Sheen anyway. right? It doesn't matter whether he was working for profit. They'd be able to afford him now. That's the thing. They've got the money. They've got the money. Everything is going to be thrown at this. Remember, this is being framed as a full-blown rescue mission, right? RTD is coming back. So they have money to burn. Money is no object this time. They have no excuses. And the 60th is going to be absolutely huge and spectacular. It's going to be bigger than the 50th, right? This is going to be a worldwide event. It's going to be done properly. Listen, I've always said that this show had the potential to be the next Game of Thrones, right? Now, what do I mean by that? Well, Doctor Who in its classic era, right? During its classic era was a phenomenon, right? It was loved by everybody, right? Under RTD, the show then became a global phenomenon, right? Under Moffat, not so much, because Moffat's writing was a bit of a problem. But what I'm trying to say is that the impact that Doctor Who had in the 60s with the British public and people back then, right? It had an impact on pop culture. And what I mean is that I honestly do believe that this show, if written properly, if the money is spent wisely, right, and money is no object this time, that this show can become a pop culture icon once again. It can. And under RTD, it definitely can. That's why he's back. He came back in 2005 and successfully rebooted the show. They're bringing him back to do the same trick yet again. So that's why I keep saying this can become another Game of Thrones. Obviously, Game of Thrones ended badly, but we won't get into that. But what I'm saying is it can have that impact again. And I do believe that that's what they're aiming for. This 60th anniversary is going to be absolutely huge. It's going to be a global event. And you will see how to actually promote a series, right? You will see a difference. Series 11, Jodie Whittaker's Doctor got promotion that I'd never seen for any other Doctor. After that, it was non-existent. Wait till you see how RTD does it. He'll be clever about it as well. But he'll have fans at the edge of their seats lapping up more of these teasers, lapping up more of these interviews, right? Because he knows how to work an audience. He understands the Doctor Who audience. And he understands, by the way, people are always saying, oh, you don't realise with RTD, he's political and all. We know RTD is political. The difference is that compared to him and Steve and Chris Chibnall, right? If you want someone to write politics within a show, right? If you had a choice between RTD and Chris Chibnall, I would choose RTD any day of the week. Why? Because his characters are fleshed out, right? His stories are fleshed out, and whatever political agenda that he has, right? Story comes first, right? But the agenda is in there, but it's not in your face. And that's the difference with him to Chris Chibnall. And Chris Chibnall does a lot of baiting, by the way. That whole scene with Yaz and the Doctor and stuff, and then the Doctor saying she fancied herself, was baiting the LGBTQ plus community, right? That's what he does. He has no respect for the people that he's trying to represent in the show. None. RTD will. RTD will flesh out these characters and make them believable. So then the politic in it doesn't become the issue. We focus on the story and these characters being developed. So Radio Times, leave it out, right? I don't know why you keep flogging Yasmin Khan. She ain't coming anywhere near RTD's era. And we got a £5 super chat. And and I want to thank Nicholas for it. Thank you, Nicholas. I remember all those rumours back in the day of RTD doing Doctor Who movie, and I think the 60th anniversary will be in vein to a movie. I agree with you. I think it's going to be a big event, mate, and you know, I think it will be like a movie, and I think it will be shown. I think this will be shown simultaneously around the world, and I also believe that it'll be in cinemas, just like the 50th anniversary was, because I went to the cinema. My brothers had actually got me a ticket. They came with me, and they weren't originally Doctor Who fans, believe it or not. They used to take the piss out of me, but they became fans of the show, and they got me tickets, and they came with me for the 50th. And even though I'm not the biggest fan of the 50th, but I have softened on it over the years, it was brilliant to be part of. I felt like I was part of something special. And Doctor Who at that time was and to be part of the fandom was something to be special. It's not now. It's not now. But the fandom is an embarrassment. And all these fans that say we're the toxic ones, well, the fandom didn't become toxic until you all came along. And you start then criticizing people for their opinions and saying that they basically couldn't have those opinions. Right? So take a look at yourselves, as I said, you know, because the toxicity hasn't come from our side. All we've ever done is given our opinions and say we don't believe that the Doctor should be female. We don't think that this show was written well, and we think Chris Chibnall's a bad showrunner. I'm sorry, if you don't like those opinions, well, then you can stuff it, right? Because you are allowed, use our opinions where you say that you love this and think this is brilliant and all that, right? Now, I won't say that you haven't been attacked for those opinions, because there are a few people out there that would, but the majority of fans don't give a shit whether you like it or not. The fact of the matter is they're entitled to their opinions just like you're entitled to yours. So as I said, you know, money is no object. Everything will be thrown at this, and they can get a big name if they want to. And as I said anyway, I don't think an unknown will actually help. I do think now they need to go for a big name, and I honestly believe they will. It's the only way to go, to be quite honest with you. But we'll see. But look, I could go on talking about this now for another couple of hours, but there's no point because you all know the situation. This series is over now. In a few weeks' time now, we have the festive special that we'll have to sit through and agonize over. But all I'll just say is that I'm glad to see the back of Chris Chibnall, Jodie Whittaker, and Mandip Gill. And I hope they never come anywhere near Doctor Who ever again. Because, you know, and I hope Jodie Whittaker, you know, we don't know if RTD will include her in the 60th anniversary. It might be too soon. But for me, I hope she isn't part of this 60th anniversary. Because, you know, for me, well, anyway, just put it this way, she'll be shown up by the other doctors, to be quite honest with you, or she'll end up lecturing the other doctors, probably, if RTD went down the same route. I doubt he would, though, but there's no point in having her in the 60th. Right, anyway, we'll leave it there. I see some of you are commenting away there, coming up with who you think should be the next Doctor. That'll be a conversation to have for another time. But as I said, join me now over the next few days. We'll have another TARDIS Zone Talks where we will be looking back at this series and giving our final thoughts on it. As I said, we'll have a lot of guests coming on. As I said, Melina will be there. We'll have Ballstreck there, and hopefully we'll have, well, we'll have a few more guests because there's a lot of people that have a lot of stuff to get off their chest. So come and join me for that. Andrew Garfield, that's all I'm saying for the Dr. 14. Take that how you like. Listen, they have the money to bring Andrew Garfield in, and if Sony think about it logically, Marty. Sony now are actually, going to be calling some of the shots as well and giving money towards this. I wouldn't mind Andrew Garfield being the Doctor, to be honest. I love Andrew Garfield. I don't get me wrong, that Dalek two-parter, Daleks in Manhattan and the other one, was a bit of a mess. But Andrew Garfield was one of the best characters actually in that story. I would love to see Andrew Garfield return. Maybe as a companion, I wouldn't mind that. But yeah, problem being thinks he's too young. Well, that's another debate to have for another day, isn't it? But you're probably right. PD Rich says he'd make a good Doctor. Look, fans will be split on whoever they bring in. Trust me, it's always the same anyway. It was the same with Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant, and Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi. Fans will always have their preferences, and there'll always be a debate on why a person should have or not should have got the role. That's just the way the fandom is anyway. But as I said, listen, I will be back during the week. We're going to have a lot of streams. There's a lot of articles and all being thrown out there, so I will be doing a few pre-recorded ones as well. So have a look out for them. There's 44 people watching right now. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. By the way, we're doing very well. The channel is growing quite nicely now. We're at 2,040 odd subscribers now, so the channel continues to grow. So I just want to thank all of our new subscribers lately that have joined us. I hope you are enjoying the content on the channel. Remember one thing though, you will always get honest and raw opinions on this channel. If you're easily offended, this channel isn't for you. We don't pussyfoot around areas. We tell it as we see it, and basically we spew the facts. The facts are that this is the lowest rated era. Also, I think it was the lowest rated series finale, if I'm correct in saying. I know they compare it with the Eaters of Light because that did very bad. Yeah, we know that episode did very bad, but that was one episode. And if you're going to compare it to one episode in the Peter Capaldi era, then I'm laughing at you. This was the worst series finale. And it was a series finale, by the way. It didn't even feel like a series finale. So we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, we will see what the consolidated figures are like and the AI is like. But I wouldn't be surprised if there is a downturn and the AI goes down again. Because for a series finale, it was absolutely pathetic. By the way, Doctor Who Day, I went to check it out. 660 tweets. Apparently, that's a success. Doctor Who Flux, right? Or Doctor Who Flux, 1,000 tweets. That's a success, by the way. So all of these people that are spinning, this is a success. You go back and look at tweets back in the day when Matt Smith was the Doctor and Peter Capaldi was the Doctor, and look how they were trending. Right? They were trending a lot more than what this. And look at the trailer for the latest Eve of the Daleks. Right? Seriously. This era is dead in the water. And the sooner it's over, the better. It might be the lowest rated finale. We will have to see the consolidated. I think the consolidated are going to take a hit, Lee, because I think a lot of people look at the reaction on Twitter, even from the other side. They were pissed off with Chris Chibnall because he didn't resolve stuff. I think it's going to really take a hit. But we'll find out soon enough, won't we, pal? We'll find out soon enough. And listen, as I said, anyway, we'll be keeping a close eye on this, and I'll have all you guys on. Lee will be on as well. Listen, we'll be looking back at the whole series. So even though Lee was on the panel, we will have him on again. And if any other people want to come on now, listen, we can have 10 panelists, right? So Melina, problem being, and Ballstrick are guaranteed. So there's 6 more places left because I count as the 10. So if you want to be part of that, we'll be doing that at the end of the week. I've decided to leave it till was a Friday. I think everybody thinks Friday. Yeah. So we leave it a Friday. Right. So if you want to come on Friday, let me know. Let me know. Send me a message so I could write your name down. First, the first people to come to me will be the ones that will be coming on. So this is your opportunity to actually get a chance. So send me a message, whether it's by DM on Twitter or on Messenger. Please text me right now, and I'll write your names down, and we will have you part of that panel. So it'll be a full panel. And Sunday, by the way, we're back with New Who. We're back with I think it's A Town Called Mercy. A Town Called Mercy. So when will this be streamed? Well, Melina, we normally start around between 7 and 8 o'clock on a Friday evening. So I would come on, but it's my birthday over the next few days. Listen, Marty, we'll do a separate stream with you at some stage, because there are some rumors flying about and stuff like that, and we'll get into them. So I'll bring you on after your birthday, and we'll do a little stream. So Friday night around 7 p.m., 7 or 8 p.m. I'll let you know in the meantime. So it's on Melina's birthday as well. So come and join us so you can wish Melina a happy birthday. Yeah. So, right, I'll leave it there. Look, I just want to again say thank you to everybody, for the last 5 years, but also especially these last 6 weeks. I know it's been painful for a lot of you to watch a show that we love being destroyed in front of our eyes. But I will say one thing: I'm proud of this community that we've built up. I'm proud of you all, and I am very grateful for all the support that I've had over these last 5 years, but especially these last 6 weeks, because, as I said, it's been a tough one for us all. But as I said, we'll be here for as long as I'm capable of being here for. And we will hopefully go into the RTD era with a bit more optimism, and hopefully we'll have positive things to say. Because if you think that myself, Lee, and others on the panel like coming on and bashing Doctor Who every week, well, you're sadly mistaken. All we've ever wanted is to come on and praise a show that we have loved and grew up with all our lives, and we just haven't had the opportunity to do that. So hopefully under RTD we can do that, because I want to be here talking positively about Doctor Who. That's why we actually do New Who and the Classic Who Zone, because we want to show fans that we actually do enjoy Doctor Who. And if you watch our Classic and New Who streams, you will see that we do have love for Doctor Who. It's just this era cannot be praised, because as PD Richards actually rightly said there, you can't praise a shit show. And that's basically it. And I'm not going to lie or shill just for the sake of getting perks in this fandom like certain YouTubers do. Isn't it funny that a certain YouTuber out there was able to get a director on in Jamie Magidson Stone? And yeah, right, this person has been, let's just say, they have been negative towards the era, but not as negative as we have. But funny that after you get that interview, right, with Jamie Magidson Stone, then all of a sudden the series finale was the best finale that you've seen in years, right? That just goes to show you what this person is all about, right? The bottom line of the matter is, this is the worst series finale of all time, and that's a fact. And if you actually think that this is a great series finale, which I don't believe anyway, you got an interview with the director, you're now blowing smoke up their asses because you think by, being on their side, you'll get more exclusives. Well, shill away all you want. Spin the ratings all you want. Call fans white supremacists, bigots, racists, homophobes, sexists, and all of this all you want. The bottom line is the facts prove that this show has been a complete and utter disaster. And this era has been detrimental to this show's legacy. And they are the facts. And with that, I'm going to leave. I'm going to say good night to you all. Enjoy the rest of your night. I'm going to be playing a bit of Fortnite on the Irish Geek channel in a while. Well, probably soon. I was playing last night with Melina, but I was to come back just in case Melina is wondering why I didn't come back last night. My back started paining me and I had to lie down on the sofa. So I decided the only game that I can actually play while I'm lying down on the sofa like that was my football game. So I played a couple of games of FIFA and then I ended up watching something on the computer. But if you're up for playing a bit of Fortnite tonight, Melina, send me a DM on Messenger and we'll have a couple of games. You liar! Shut up! No, but after I brought Ted out and I came back because I bent down to pick him up, I did something to me back and I had to bleed and lie down. I started playing FIFA, but then I couldn't play that properly. And I think I had 2 or 3 games of that. And then I ended up then just watching Actually, I ended up watching Match of the Day and all the football that I missed out on over the weekend. Cam says the Tardis Zone official YouTube channel. Thanks once again, Noel, for telling it the way the facts show it to be. Love that about this channel. Hello, everyone, and have a great rest of your day. Listen, as I said, I'm not going to shill for anybody. Even if BBC came to me and said, listen, we know that you're very negative towards Doctor Who, but listen, we can guarantee you interviews and stuff like this with cast and crew members. Can you be a little bit nicer about the era? I would tell them to go and fuck themselves, right? Because I don't shill. At the end of the day, if I think this is rubbish, I'm going to call it out for what it is, okay? And I would never be persuaded by the BBC to change my opinion. But there are a couple of YouTubers out there. Actually, there's one particular YouTuber out there that came out and apologized to his followers, right? Because apparently he was too negative about this era of Doctor Who, right? And this is a fella that stabbed me and Ballstreck in the back, yeah? Well, you reap what you sow, you little twat, right? That's what you get, right? For shilling to them. You don't like this era, you never have, but you haven't stayed true to yourself. What you've done is you've went to the other side to boost your channel up, and that's all you've ever done, right? And that's why you come out with pathetic leak videos that don't even pan out, right? Because you've got nothing better to do but to shill and to lie, right? So, you reap what you sow, and I'm glad you're being attacked by these fans. I'm actually glad. You deserve it. That's what you get for shilling the other side, right? And for not staying true to yourself, right? You haven't stayed true to yourself. And people like you, in the long run, your channels will be non-existent anyway, because fans can see through all this rubbish. And that's why this channel has been grown ever since Doctor Who Flux started. Because fans are finally beginning to see what we've been saying is true. And that's why I've hit over. That's why we were 1,500 subscribers. We were before a couple of weeks before Flux started. And now I'm over 2,040 subscribers now after the fact, right? And that's because fans are finally starting to cop on. The Series 13 was the last series for people, for Chris Chibnall to get it right in their opinion, because fans have been kind of, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They're not giving them the benefit of the doubt anymore, right? Even me Twitter account followers have went up, right? So again, it shows me that I'm reaching a lot more people out there, and a lot more people agree with me rather than disagree with me. So all of the rhetoric and the hatred out there towards this channel and towards me has failed. People are coming onto my channel and are actually agreeing with what I say, right? And they can see for themselves that I'm not hating, or I'm not a bigot and all of these other things. I'm just a passionate Doctor Who fan who is telling it like it is. And I will always tell it like it is. And with that, I'll leave it there. Right, so I look forward to this big stream during the week. I will have other stuff going on, obviously, before we get to that. I'm not going quiet now until Friday. I will be back doing other stuff. And also, by the way, just in case people think Cheryl's not doing her reviews of the last, she's got 2 episodes to do. She's going to get them up the She Shed. She will be doing those reviews. She will be reviewing those 2 episodes that she hasn't watched. She will be watching them. She'll be taking notes. So look out for Cheryl's last reviews of those 2 episodes. They will be coming up during the week. I don't know what day. I'm not going to say this is definite when it's happening, but it will be this week. And we'll have a lot more streams as well. And I'll be bringing on a lot more guests. And as I said, you know, we will be talking more about Doctor Who Flux, and then obviously then we'll leave it for a few weeks, and then we'll be back all over again then when the festive special drops. So I can't wait to see you all. And again, as I said, thank you all for the support. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the super chats as well. I really appreciate that. That blows me away that people are so generous and so kind. You know, we're not like other YouTubers out there. We don't have Patreon. We don't have the membership thing, you know, because, you know, yeah, the super chats are great, you know, and you know, there's such a thing of being greedy is what I call it, you know. But next year we might, because a lot of people have said it to me, next year we will probably have some TARDIS Zone merch. Because there has been a lot of people that have said it, cups and stuff like that. So if you are interested in stuff like that, you can certainly go and do that. But as I said, I don't have a membership thing where they get special privileges or anything like that. You are all treated the same. And I don't have a Patreon because I don't believe that. Personally, I don't believe that you should do a video exclusive for Patreons and then charge them money and then put the same video up on YouTube a few days later, but Patreon gets the exclusive. I've never gotten that. I would never do that. You know, that's why you are all treated the same. You will always get, when I drop a video, it'll be dropped for everybody. There's no special conditions and all of that. I don't believe in all of that. But we have been, certainly myself and Cheryl have been talking about the old merchandise stuff. We want TED mugs and t-shirts. Disaster Area has been asking, and we'll have some Teddy Zone mugs, definitely. As for the t-shirts, we'll see. I have a couple of photographs that I could use for a Teddy t-shirt. That would be great. But next year, yes, we will be launching some merchandise. But that'll be it. We won't be doing any of the other stuff that YouTubers do. I think the merchandise is good enough, to be quite honest with you. I don't do that membership thing, and I don't do Patreon. I demand a Teddy plushie, says. Oh, that would be brilliant. If there was a way that I could actually do that, Chris, I probably would. Cheryl would love that as well, actually. Yeah, but that's for another day. Look at. Thanks for joining me. You are all legends. I'll see you all soon. Have a good night. Look after yourselves. And I will see you over the festive period and over the next few weeks, as we always do. And we'll call in the new year together as well. Why not? So good night. Look after yourselves. Like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to share the video, won't you? And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. And thank you for the continued support. It means a lot, as I said. Good night, folks. Have a good one. and see you soon. And don't forget, Irish Geek later on. Yeah.